What happens when a U.S. president calls for a popular uprising in another country, but never steps in when the rebellion begins? History shows the consequences can be devastating. And today, as Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu encourage Iranians to rise up against their government, many analysts are remembering a moment from 1991, a moment that changed the Middle East for decades. In February 1991, during the first Gulf War, U.S. President George H.W. Bush delivered a speech at a factory in Massachusetts. The factory produced Patriot missile interceptors, which were being used for the first time in combat during Operation Desert Storm. At the time, coalition forces led by the United States and Britain were carrying out massive airstrikes against Iraq after Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait. Hundreds of thousands of troops were preparing for the ground war that would soon follow. But during that speech, Bush made a statement that would echo across the region. He said that the bloodshed could end if the Iraqi military and the Iraqi people removed Saddam Hussein themselves. For many Americans, it sounded like a call for freedom. But inside Iraq, some people took it as something more, a promise of support. After Iraq's army was pushed out of Kuwait, rebellions began. In the south, Iraqi Shia communities rose up against Saddam Hussein's regime. In the north, Kurdish forces launched their own revolt. Many believed the United States would help them finish the job. But that help never came. The coalition forces watched as Saddam Hussein's military responded brutally. Helicopter gunships and government forces crushed the uprisings. Thousands were killed. Entire communities were destroyed. In the mountains of northern Iraq, tens of thousands of Kurds fled their homes. Families escaped into freezing conditions with little food or shelter. Many children died from exposure, disease, and starvation. Eventually, Western countries launched a humanitarian rescue operation. But for many Iraqis, it came too late. The lesson from that moment still haunts Middle Eastern politics today. When outside powers encourage rebellion but stop short of intervention, the consequences can be catastrophic. Fast forward to today. Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu are encouraging the people of Iran to overthrow the Islamic Republic. But neither leader has clearly promised direct military support if such an uprising actually begins. That uncertainty reminds analysts of what happened in Iraq decades ago. History shows that revolutions triggered by outside encouragement can spiral into chaos if there is no clear plan for what comes next. The current conflict with Iran already carries enormous risks. Israel sees Iran's military and nuclear ambitions as a direct threat to its survival. Washington says stopping Iran from developing nuclear weapons is critical for global security. But critics warn that removing a regime without a political strategy can create a dangerous power vacuum. The 2003 invasion of Iraq, which removed Saddam Hussein, triggered years of civil war, sectarian violence, and the rise of extremist groups like ISIS. Hundreds of thousands of people died in that conflict. Today's war could have consequences far beyond Iran. Energy markets could be disrupted. Alliances in the Middle East could shift. And countries like China may gain influence if U.S. partners begin to question Washington's long-term strategy. At the same time, Israel sees a historic opportunity. For decades, Israeli leaders have viewed Iran as their most dangerous adversary. Now, with U.S. support, some believe the balance of power in the Middle East could be reshaped permanently, but history offers a clear warning. Starting wars or encouraging revolutions is often much easier than controlling what happens afterward. Without a clear political strategy, conflicts can spiral into crises that last for generations. And as the world watches the growing confrontation with Iran, one question remains: will this conflict bring stability to the region or repeat the mistakes of the past?